We can't have a situation where the board of ZIMURA has got a health cover and the artists who contribute the money
don't
not.
have.
That's crazy.
Actually, being a
do you know what's
even
mentally
taxing?
Do you know what's even ironic or what's even cruel? There is funeral cover, but no health cover. So which means that in some twisted world, they're like, we'll bury you because we know you have no health cover. That's messed up.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of Pun Intended.
And children.
Yes,
and children.
yes.
And children.
I'm Steve.
I'm DJ Point of Mix. What's happening?
Yes. We gotta do it.
We're ready. We're
Yes,
ready.
sure,
Rock, paper, scissors, real quick.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Of course.
Scissors.
Of course, it's gotta be that.
Let's
so
go.
there's hot topics, man.
Hot topics.
in the
Before
corner.
we get into hot topics, I don't know if I would just get this off my chest as quickly
Okay,
as
please
possible.
do.
The last time we were here, we talked about the criminal enterprise. And I know some of our hot topics today insinuate that there's a wider circle of criminals.
Yeah, cool.
But I wanted to just say to all the criminals that got in touch, because we reached out.
Yeah, we reached out
And we said,
asking the
if
criminals
you
to
store
come
somebody
through,
something, especially if it's a creative,
Please
we can be the
get
avenue
in touch so that the
to
board
reconcile the owner with the stolen property.
Yeah.
So I have a list.
You've got a list.
Yes, I've got a list.
Wow.
I have a list.
Wow,
I would just
wow.
like the following to contact me as soon as possible.
Okay, no, please, no. Don't.
The list maartist akabirwa zvino.
Okay.
Pane
Cool.
vakabirwa ma hit songs avo.
Yeah.
It would explain some of the poor productions akachibuda.
Okay. Well, because the hit songs were missing.
The pane vakabirwa talent. We can also explain.
But how do you bring back lost
No,
talent?
I'm with the list. I'm with the list. I mean, how often have you always wondered sometimes what's going on? This artist used to produce good music, but now, no, the stuff was stolen and the list is here. So I've got the list.
You've got the list.
I don't know, maybe
No, please
to inbox.
ignore him. Ignore him. Let's get straight into the subscriptions.
I mean,
No, let's ask people to subscribe. Yeah?
even some of our football, I've got a list about where the talent went. I'm just saying.
Okay, can we shelve the list until the end of the episode?
For now.
So we've seen the traction, we've been seeing the views, the likes, the comments. Please continue interacting with this podcast and please share it a lot so that it's recommended to your friends and their friends and their friends.
Subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Yes. So that you're notified.
Yeah, notified.
Yeah, it literally sounds a bell, yeah?
Yeah, it does.
Depends on your notification tone, each time we upload. So
every time we upload,
big shout out to all those who subscribed so far.
And I wanted to mention that one of our podcasts has surpassed 90 views in less than 2 years.
Yes, in less than, are we gonna? Do you have names for that? Do you have names for that?
I do, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But I want to say thank you so much. I didn't think it was possible to do a podcast and get more than 80 views in less than 2 years. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Do you mind explaining the background of where that's coming from so that it makes sense? Okay, let me take the burden off you. So when we started this whole thing, there are some people who told us about stuff that we need to do.
Yeah, if you want to make it.
If you want to make it. So, being the smart pens we are, we went and did some bit of research
to find out about
the person who had given us advice, because now you've become a guru in our space. So we're trying to look at how well they were performing when they started their channel. And I'm glad to announce that they are still having videos sitting on 80 views after 2 years.
2 years.
And we've been doing well.
So we've done well. Definitely, it's one of those classic situations where the student outclasses the master.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think their advice works.
It works.
We follow their advice. And
we're
now
going
we
to teach you a thing or two.
So we are going, we have to teach them something. Something that we learn.
So what topics? What was going on?
Okay, so where do I even start? Okay, feedback from last time. Let's talk about the Warriors. I remember when we did the previous podcast, the Warriors.
Yes, Warriors versus Benin. Yeah. And
so
we put our necks on the line.
Yeah.
And
I was saying go Warriors. And you were saying well played.
I said, if the podcast comes after. Okay. So it ended up 2-0. Benin 2, Warriors 2. It was a draw. We're still at the bottom of the group, which means the only way to go is up.
Yeah.
Think positive. Yeah, we're at the bottom.
We still have
There's nothing below Zimbabwe right now on the group World Cup qualifiers, which means that we can only look up, which is a positive. That's positive.
It's a positive.
So the next match is on Tuesday. I don't know if the podcast will come up before that. We're going up against it's a small team. Well, who knows Nigeria? All they have is Osimhen, Lookman. We have them. The Super Eagles are in trouble. Warriors. So I'm thinking if the podcast
it's on you.
if the podcast comes before the game on Tuesday, go Warriors, you got this. But if it's coming out after Tuesday, well played, guys.
It's on you.
It's on you. But you also
I'm here, but it's on you.
No, but what do you think our chances are? Super Eagles. Victor Osimhen. Yo, look, man.
Who do we have?
And we're away. We're actually going. We're in Nigeria right now. The Warriors have already landed in Nigeria.
So we're already there.
We have Knowledge. We have Kama Billiard. We have Masho Muneti.
I wouldn't count Kama, would you?
Kama. No. Kama always gets you in the end.
No, it's one of the 11.
No, but Kama always gets you in the end. No matter what you do in life, Kama always gets you in the end.
Okay, cool. Let's move on.
Let's move topics.
Yeah. So remember we did a conversation around ZIMURA?
ZIMURA, yes, ZIMURA.
When I was telling you that they're now charging $150 for the cover bands, right?
If you play a song.
If you cover a band and you play songs from other artists.
If it's not your song.
Yes, you're supposed to pay $150. Not per month, not per year, not per week.
Every time you have a show.
Every time you've got a show, you have to pay $150 to ZIMURA.
Which means the smart thing is to have all your shows in just one place.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm doing 6 shows here. People just
perform
coming
once
in.
upon a time, Sell different tickets, session 1, session 2. Yeah. Because churches...
Toilet break, next show,
yes,
but same show.
Same show.
Yeah.
So
there's more about ZIMURA.
There's been a lot of talk about that. People reacted instantly.
People are angry.
Right.
But not just people, artists.
Artists, particularly artists.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned in listening to the voice of artists. The people who reacted first are the fans.
The fans.
Right? They were like, oh yeah, now another opportunity for our artists to get more money.
Yeah.
Right? Until the dust settled and then the people who really get affected by this started
talking.
Yeah.
And besides, the moment you get that $150 price tag for cover bands, they'll just pass on the cost to the fans of the music. So in actual fact, ZIMURA is not only taxing the artist,
they're also taxing the fans. Because where I was charging $10, I'm going to pay
I need to cover $150
to cover the $150.
Because I'm going to play some of those popular tracks that you like.
Yeah.
But they're not my songs. So $150.
$150. Ka-ching. Right.
So there's more.
So now there's a fellow artist. What's her name? Edith
Utonga.
Yes. Edith responded. Not to the ZIMURA issue.
What did she respond to?
But she responded.
Can I shout out to Edith?
Yeah.
I like Edith. Shout out to Edith.
Okay, I'll make sure to take it.
Shout out.
That's all you wanted to say?
Yeah, I like Edith.
You excused me from talking.
I like Edith. I genuinely think that she's an incredible artist and she voiced an opinion which I agree with.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
I wish I could just go through what she really commented, but I'll put it somewhere here.
Yeah, you must put it somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, great. So there's the deputy director for ZIMURA.
For ZIMURA.
Yes, Mr. Makumbe.
Mr.
Makumbe.
Can we put his picture somewhere?
Definitely.
Yeah. This is the deputy director for ZIMURA.
Yes.
What did he say,
post. He said.
Before you say anything, I'm pretty sure as the deputy director of ZIMURA, he must have come out to say that they have the welfare of artists at heart and they are listening and will do consultations to map a way forward. That is that's leadership. That's leadership.
No, yeah, it's good leadership.
Yeah, obviously.
That's a good leadership.
That's obviously what he said.
No,
he was like, we're listening.
That's not what he said.
We'll consult.
That's not what he said.
And we'll map a way forward.
That is not what he said.
Come on, there's no way. So, what did he say?
So the
deputy director of
ZIMURA.
The organization that is the welfare of artists at heart.
He came out on social media and said,
what did he say?
The landlord is the one who determines the rent, not the tenant.
So in other words,
so this was a metaphoric phrase to mean that we are the custodians and landlords of the music. If we say this is the rent, it's not up to you,
whether they like it or not.
Yes. So according to his metaphor, the landlord is ZIMURA, the tenants are the artists, and then the rent is the money that they're charging the bands. So they're saying, as the landlords, we call on how much the rent has to be per month.
So they don't have to consult the members of the association.
Yes. So now, this is where Edith comes.
What did Edith say?
She came guns blazing with a lot of valid points.
And
now,
I
understand why you like it.
I like it.
What she said.
She speaks her mind.
She was now saying, I'm an artist. I create music, right? And I subscribed to ZIMURA as an association that's supposed to put my interest ahead of everything else and protect my art. My art, not their art, my art. So he was saying, I didn't get a memo where we made you landlords to our art, where we made you custodians to our art, where we made you owners
I'm
of
a
our
member
art.
of ZIMURA. I didn't get that as well.
So you're saying,
nobody asked
nowhere
me.
was it written that you are now charging
$150 to our fellow musicians. But people doing cover bands are musicians.
They're also
well.
musicians.
They're members of ZIMURA.
And she was speaking a lot of, you know what, I don't want to dilute what she said. I'll just put it
up. Yeah, put it up.
And guess what? Covers did not start in Zimbabwe.
I mean, I don't know.
They came from
it's a
way out of the
Steve, I know we're supposed to be talking in a very diplomatic way, but I would like to just vent just for a second.
Okay, please,
and say,
go ahead.
Enough is enough. We're tired. We're tired. No, this is ridiculous, okay?
It doesn't make sense.
Everybody who's a member of the board at ZIMURA, everybody who works in the office at ZIMURA is paid off the backs of artists.
Yeah.
That's the reality. No, I'm not lying.
That's the only source of money.
They don't sell bananas.
Because artists are making music.
They don't sell bananas. They don't sell freezes. They don't sell zeppies.
They don't sell anything.
Artists sweating, okay? Sweat and blood making this music is what puts money in their bank accounts. Whether you're the director, whether you're a board member. If you work at ZIMURA, if you wake up in the morning, take a shower and you say, I work at ZIMURA and I get a salary.
It's not your money.
So how in the world?
It belongs to the industry. It belongs to the artist. I think they should have that inscribed on their pay
You're venting more than I am.
No, they should put it on their pay
So
it's not their money,
I would like to use this podcast, okay? Because I think it's a free space where we can speak freely.
Pun intended, of
is
course.
That for the artists who are watching or for people who have welfare of artists at heart, we need to get to a point where we start saying, is this the leadership we want at ZIMURA? There will be an opportunity where there will be elections. And when those elections come, let's get people who care about our welfare. Simple. Done and dusted.
Wait.
Edith, I'm with you on that. You put your name forward. I will be there to second that nomination.
Did you say elections?
Yeah, ZIMURA, Music Rights Association. I'm very clear about that. When those elections happen, let's get people who care about artists.
I've got a story.
There's more. I know.
This is just the surface.
I know. Come on. Okay.
I've barely scrubbed into the
This
magic.
is a very depressing podcast, man. There's more.
There's more.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Okay. Board members.
Board members.
Right. Board members. One of the board members. Actually, let me pull out my paper so that I don't get the names. Yeah. All the board members that are currently sitting as board members for ZIMURA right now.
Can we have the names?
Board members. Yeah, of course.
And pictures.
Actually, you know what? Let me hit.
Pictures. We're tired.
Let me hit the story first. Then I put the rest of the board members. Shall I do that?
Yeah.
Let me go straight to this name and then we go through the rest of the members.
Okay.
So remember, the board. It's a board. Members of the board, right?
The people
they
at the highest
level. They are responsible for the strategy formulation.
Yeah, where are we going? What is our artist doing?
They're supposed to look at industry trends.
Yeah.
You know, and look into how best they can make the artist welfare much better, right? Because they've got medical aids on artist money. Their kids have their fees paid.
I want medical aid. But artists want medical aid.
Have it?
Do you artists know that our board members have medical aid?
From your money.
From your money.
Your sweat and your labor.
And I think they have transport allowances as well.
They do.
Yeah.
Back to the name. So this guy is Philip Chipfumbu.
Philip Chipfumbu.
Yes.
He's a former board member.
He's no longer a board member.
He was board
ousted.
member. Okay.
So guess what he did?
Why was he chased away?
Philip was a member of the board. He started smelling a rotten rat
when was this, Steve? When was this?
Dude, this is sometime last year.
Okay,
last year, but one in June.
In June.
That's when the article came out.
You're going to put up the article, right?
Yes, I'm going to put it up from the Herald.
What happened? Former board member.
Dude smelled a rotten rat.
Something fishy.
And it was north of the misappropriation of artist money.
So by
the board.
A former board member.
Yes.
Was a whistleblower.
Yes.
And he was
the misappropriation.
Yes. The board
for misappropriating artist money that they are custodian to and not necessarily owners.
So what happened?
The first thing that they did in response was to oust him from the board.
He was chased away.
Yes, they removed him from the board.
What, did this go to the courts? What happened?
It actually went to the courts.
And then what happened?
And in his statement, he actually said that one of the board members, who is Albert Nyati, the current chairman. He's a returning chairman from the previous board.
So what was he saying?
So he was saying maybe because of his experience, he has now had the whole board on lockdown. They formed a cartel.
But these are accusations from one person.
Yes. So he's saying that they'd formed a cult like
That's what he was saying.
Yes, they had set aside the Articles of Association, which is the governance tool for the board.
Did he have proof for these accusations? These are serious accusations.
They're very serious.
No, but,
funny enough, the court, they threw out the case. Maybe he didn't have enough evidence.
I think it's important.
But there's no smoke without fire.
No, but it's important that when you make such big accusations, I mean, this is huge.
Yeah.
That you have the evidence to back it up.
Usually.
It's important.
Usually what happens, Pro, is you get into a space, you think you've got like-minded people, yeah, we're all for the artist. And then you get into the space and then you realize that these people are stealing money.
No, but
wait.
Yeah.
You realize they're stealing money.
I hear you. Allegedly.
Allegedly they're stealing money. So now you get into this frame of mind where you don't process properly. You are now emotional. So instead of gathering the evidence, you become emotional about it and then you instantly you go and report. Now when they ask you which money did we steal,
you don't have the facts.
You start mumbling and fumbling and then
there's
the court
no paper
throws you
trail.
out. Yeah.
But you need the hard evidence. So I think it's important right now, just as a disclaimer, okay? We make no assertion that those allegations are our views. Those are the views of
Philip Chifumbu, a former board member of ZIMURA.
But I want to look forward.
Okay.
I want to go for a position of what can we do. We don't have a time machine. We can't go back in time to really find out what happened. We need to be in a position where we start choosing the leadership that we want.
Okay.
But I think people and artists at ZIMURA have got the leadership they deserve. These people were voted for.
Wait,
they were voted for.
Before you even go there, remember when we vote people in, there's a message that they communicate that they're going to do A, B, C, and D, a manifesto. Yes, where they promise us all.
And when they don't deliver, you must remove them.
Exactly. Simple. So now, before you say moving forward, we need a board that yada yada.
Yes.
I'm sure the current board. Okay, let me now go through the names of the members.
And pictures.
And then
they signed off on $150 tax on bands.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So the first I find it ironic that I just said good and then the first name on my list is Good Child.
Good Child. Put his picture there. Boom.
Yeah, Good Child.
So he's a member of the board.
Good Child is handsome.
I can't believe you said that. I don't know why you said that, man.
Women say so.
Okay.
He's a member of the board.
What is this got to do with the board?
I don't know. What other credentials does Good Child have for him to sit on that board? Aside the fact that he's a music artist and women think that he's handsome.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's on you, man.
No, it's on you.
I told you.
He's a member of the board.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever worked with Good Child?
Yes, I have.
Is he a good producer? Is he a good artist?
I actually recorded a song that he did.
Wow.
Yes, I know him.
He's a good artist, right?
He's a good artist.
And then in terms of the board?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I know right now he's the spokesperson.
He is the spokesperson.
The communications person for the board. And I don't think the communication has been good because communication is a two-way street.
Yeah.
There should have been communication with members of ZIMURA to ask them what they think.
Does it make sense that we want
to do this thing? Does it work? Because we need to be in a space where it doesn't appear as if ZIMURA has created hurdles or roadblocks for our artists. Instead, ZIMURA should be smashing roadblocks. That's the reality. True. For any artist who's watching this or anybody with the welfare of artists at heart, we need to be in a position where ZIMURA gets back to its mandate. They're there as the protector of artists. They're there to create spaces, not to be a bit of an impediment. So
I don't think too much of an impediment.
Yeah, too much. So communication-wise...
Do you know cover bands, they're actually used as a way of distributing music?
I think the silliness about this new idea of charging cover bands is the idea that we act as if cover bands exist on another planet.
Yeah.
These are fellow musicians, and any cost you give them, they're going to pass on to the listeners. They're going to pass on to the audience. So we're killing ourselves. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. And the only benefactor of this thing is the people in the office at ZIMURA who end up collecting this money.
Yeah.
At no point is this money going to come back and develop the musicians. And that's really the point, isn't it? No, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's really the point. ZIMURA isn't supposed to be some profit-making organization where you're trying to find a way to squeeze as much money out of people. It's supposed to be a place where there's empowerment. So if the vision was we're going to get $150 and then we're going to improve the livelihood of our artists, I want to hear that argument, how that works. If the $150 was going to go to make bands bigger or create tours for bands across the world, I would love to hear that conversation. But right now it seems like
Do you think they're going to do that?
I don't think so.
Actually, let me tell you something that's been happening. Do you know that
Artists are broke.
live bands, they're actually facing extinction?
Yeah, we're in the digital age.
As it stands.
We're in the digital age.
One of the few bands that are doing well, that do the Legends Night.
Legends Night, yeah.
Do you see what's happening there? They're
happening?
bringing old music.
Yes.
So they're taking people down a road of nostalgia.
That's true.
So apart from the nostalgia, why would you attend that?
There's no reason. We're in the digital age.
So instead of creating policies that support a somewhat dying space, they're actually contributing to its death by taxing them more.
I didn't want to go there.
Why?
But I think I need to. I think I need to go there right now.
Let's go there. I'll hold your hand. Let's go.
This is the thing that happens with the live band. The thing that makes them valuable.
Yeah.
The things that makes it important for us to protect them. It has something to do with something very basic. Jobs. A live band can employ up to 8, 10, 12 people because you've got people on different instruments, you've got people setting up the equipment, you've got people who are engineering the sound. So already it's a company. It's a corporate.
Yeah.
Now, when you hurt the factory, which is the live band, when you hurt the organization that's employing people, you hurt people and their families in the end.
True.
That's where we are.
Actually,
these are
you know what?
paychecks.
Let's
You got a drama, you got a keyboardist, you got a bassist, you got a lead, you got a rhythm. There you are.
Don't go too far. Don't go too far.
So I'm saying, no, hear me out. What I want to hit on is the fact that we're talking about bread and butter for artists, not just
artists,
one. We want more bands. We want more paying jobs for artists.
For the bands, yeah. Do you know that bands, they've served for a long time as a nurturing space for new talent and new artists?
Live performance.
All of the big artists, most of them, they broke out from bands.
You have to
look
break
at
out
Macheso.
Yeah.
Look at Baba Harare.
No, not just
Ferdinand.
that. Anyway, let's go board members. We said board members.
Okay, cool.
We need pictures.
We've got Mudiwa Hood.
Mudiwa Hood.
The CEO who employs 1,000 people. Is a member of the
ZIMURA
board, the
ZIMURA board.
Mudiwa Hood. What does he have to bring on the bed, apart from the fact that he's also handsome?
You really on about this handsome stuff, right?
No. I'm trying to look at the credentials and verify.
I know that I'm aware that he is currently suing Holy 10.
So you're afraid of getting sued?
And Ola 7.
Are you afraid of getting
defamation.
Sued? Are you afraid of getting
I just thought I should say that.
We're just questioning. This
right now.
ZIMURA, who put ZIMURA into existence?
I'm just saying.
Tell me.
No,
who put ZIMURA into existence? Say it.
I'm just saying.
It was an act of what?
Their laws will come down.
Wait, it was an act of what that put ZIMURA into?
Act of Parliament.
It was an act of Parliament that brought ZIMURA into existence. Do you know when it was
formed?
I
don't want to be
in
sued.
1982.
I don't want to be sued.
2 years after Zimbabwe was liberated. That's when ZIMURA was formed. But no one is going to come for you. Don't worry. We're just questioning.
He wants to be sued.
No.
Do you want to be sued?
I don't mind.
Okay, so Steve.
As long as I'm spitting facts.
Steve wants to.
As long as I'm spitting facts. No.
Okay, next.
I'm joking. Take it easy on me.
He's suing. Yo.
But then
he's suing.
We can't be sued for interrogating the credentials of people who hold public offices.
Yeah, dude, he's suing.
Okay, one thing I like about Mudiwa is that he's a businessman. So perhaps he's in the board. Perhaps he's in the board so that maybe he can stay ZIMURA towards a business. I'm not.
You're whitewashing.
Wait,
you're just as scared as I am. Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Is there not a song called Chenesai?
I want to be honest.
Is there not a song?
Intended.
Is there not a song?
I'm scared. I'm scared of Mudiwa Hood. I'm scared. I'm
shaking in your boots.
I'm scared. As a matter of fact, I would like a formal statement. Don't put on Chingutaura. We should script this. You get us in trouble, man. Okay, let's move on. Next on the list. Janet Manyoa.
Okay, so the other board member is Janet Manyoa.
She's a good...
wait.
Yeah, nah, sure.
She's a
Janet, enough is enough. We're tired.
She's a returning member of the board.
Yeah, but I'd like to make up for being
cool.
soft with you.
Okay, cool.
I'd like to make up for
vent.
being scared. Janet, enough. We're tired. I don't care what you think. I'm saying it in your face, Janet. We're tired.
Are you not
the
one who said...
We want fairness.
Are you not the one who said Janet's husband is intimidating?
Hear me out. I'm willing to put my neck on the line. I'm not scared of anybody, Janet. Janet!
Mdiwa Janet.
Yeah, dude.
What did you say about Janet's husband? You said he's
very intimidating.
So you're not scared of him?
No,
Imagine him showing up
Janet is a
at
Christian.
your place.
Janet is a Christian.
So what?
You just look the other way. Just give that the cheek. No, Inda. No, but on the real. I want to appeal.
Okay.
Can I appeal
She's
to
the
Janet?
treasurer. She's the treasurer. So she's maybe handles the money. And yeah.
Janet is a mother and she's a Christian. I want to appeal to your Christian side, Jen Manyoa. I know you're watching, pun intended, because at least 90 people have watched. You're among the 90. Hey.
Yeah, she's gotta be.
Janet, there's something wrong. It's genuine. It might seem as if it's something that's been blown out of proportion, but artists are crying. You're an artist. The plight of artists is real. There must be a part of you that must be concerned about where this is going. Taxing artists on whatever level is wrong. ZIMURA is not there for that. You are not the bad guy. You should have the artist back. You should be coming back to artists and saying, look, there are backdated royalties that are not coming. We're working on it. You should be coming through and saying, those broadcasters who have not paid remittances to artists, what are we going to do about it? Come up with a plan. You should be there crying out and saying we're doing everything we can to make sure that no artist is left behind. Janet Manyoa, I'm appealing to you. And Mr. Manyoa,
Dude.
I apologize for the outburst earlier. Janet, help us. Help us, we're tired. Okay, one more.
I feel like playing sad music over your monologue. But anyway.
We should. Okay, one more.
Anyway, we've got
Senzenina.
We've got First Farai.
Oh, we don't have.
We've got First
We don't
Farai.
have.
First Farai is a board member.
But Albert Nyati is part of it.
Wait.
I don't say Senzenina.
Okay, Albert Nyati. Albert Nyati is the chairperson.
I thought he sang that song.
Wait, Albert
He
Nyati.
didn't sing that song.
Albert.
Did you know he didn't sing that song?
Who sang the song?
It wasn't him. He does poetry, man. He does poetry, dub poetry.
Okay, so he was the one who was going.
Yeah. He's a hip hop artist. He raps on that beat. I love that jam. We need to remix it. No, but it's hip hop.
Do you think
dub poetry is hip hop?
Do we think it will strike a chord if we play him a song?
Yeah, I think so.
What does Senzenina mean? Because I remember there was a part where they were saying ta-ta,
but someone was
they were crying, yeah.
There's a lot of crying, yeah. I think it was artists, it was prophetic. They were like, hey, this is not going well for artists later. Yo, Senzenina, we're crying. Albert, hey, artists are crying.
Senzenina, like what? Now, it feels like, I don't know what it means, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm putting my head on the line. Senzenina, I think it means, what have I done?
I think so. Yeah. What have I done? What have we done? Albert Nyati, what have we done? Can I appeal to Albert Nyati?
Yeah.
I think Albert Nyati is probably an elder statesman when it comes to music.
Yeah.
He is the adult in the room. Okay.
And he's a Blayo legend.
I want to appeal to him as a legend, as somebody that artists look up to. Whether you like it or not, you got to look up to Albert Nyati. There's something wrong, Baba. Something wrong because your children are crying. That's just it. It doesn't matter. Maybe they're crying in the wrong way. They're using the wrong language. Maybe there's too much emotion, whatever it is. But you know for a fact, people are crying.
Yeah.
Something has to happen. Somebody has to take responsibility. We need to get to a point where leadership takes ultimate responsibility. It doesn't matter if it wasn't you who made the decision, but you're the head of this thing. Eh?
Are you going to ask him about
I'm talking about falling on your sword. That's what I'm talking about. Resigning. Resign.
You want him to resign?
Because I think he is a good man. He shouldn't be part of this.
So what are you saying? You're saying he should jump ship just because things are not okay?
No, I'm saying that he should say, I am not happy that we are not fulfilling a mandate. Artists are crying, they're hurting, and this is not what I am. This is not what I stand for. Let's have fresh elections. Let's get a new vision going because I want artists to be okay. That's it. Not to say that he did anything, but just responsibility. Say, no. Don't associate me with hating creatives. Because I've listened to him speak. I remember I attended a budding writers workshop. He doesn't remember me. It was in Gweru many moons ago. I remember it touched me. I was there, Baba. I was there in Gweru. I was a youngster in high school. And I looked at you speaking.
Wow.
And I had not even recorded anything. No, I'm not lying. I want to tell him the truth. Yeah. I live in Harare, but I went to Gweru to hear you speak. And you were speaking at that workshop. And you didn't notice me, but I was noticing you. Because I'd come because you were there.
He doesn't remember,
And
but
I
you
said,
remember. Yeah.
this man is speaking to creatives. He's not speaking confusing language. He's not talking about making money. He's not talking about having management. He's saying, I see you and I hear you. That's what I heard, because you were giving everybody a chance to speak to you. Now we are speaking again. You must give us a chance to speak out. And you were there when this happened. You were the captain of this ship. Somebody must take responsibility. Fall on your sword and say, I resign because this is not who I am. And then we have fresh elections. We get someone else to come in. Because I think even if you're not in the board, your wisdom and your contributions will still be there.
So, muchishona
That was a nice one.
baba chisiyai
Yes.
zvakuremerai.
No, but people have made a mess somewhere. And he's the
Which
head.
people?
I can't accuse people without inviting lawsuits.
Okay, cool. Let's move on. We've got Shangaja. Shangaja has been their legal advisor.
Legal advisor.
So yeah, he's the one
a
who's
lawyer.
telling them that it's possible from a legal standpoint for you to collect this money.
Do you know, this is the reality. There's a human side to this story.
Yeah.
Nobody is questioning the legalities of what is happening. Nobody questions that. There are a lot of things that happen that will be legal. But we're not talking about the fact that artists are hurting. We need to have a conversation. There's nothing wrong with having a conversation. Why are we scared to have a conversation? Let's have a conversation. Guys, listen, this is what's happening. Do you know they're playing your songs? They're the band, those guys, they're playing your song. Do you know that? Then the artist whose songs are being played has an opportunity to say how did we can even have a list of artists who say mine must not ever be played. How about that conversation? Then we must publicize it. You cannot play this artist's song. He said no ways. This one said no. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, true.
Yes, simple.
It's a good way of dealing with this.
There are artists who absolutely have no issue with cover bands. I'm an artist who has no issue with cover bands. I might not be as popular as some other artists, but if somebody did a rendition of any song that I did, I'm honored and flattered by that. It might be odd and surprising for other artists, but there are a lot of us like that, where you feel like it's your contribution. The music now lives on through somebody's interpretation. True. So let's have that conversation. My artist votaura ina ndiri music yangu itambo tota kunyora pazita rako tota publicize.
Whenever you go out to perform, don't play the song. If you don't play the song, pay 150.
And then the bands can even announce it. Guys, welcome to the show. Remember, Ninga Atodi.
Yeah.
Guys, so remember, Ninga Atodi.
Songs from this artist.
Akatota Atodi. Can I understand why 50?
Then
Karabani Binga iripo but adi 150 tambe number rake. Exactly. It's not
interesting enough. I would like to ask on behalf of every Zimbabwean. I know so many venues in Harare alone.
There are many,
Does ZIMURA have enough manpower
to monitor?
People monitor the different in Zimbabwe.
Unless I don't win a mabawaese. Maybe those do go ripo. Good vagaro I don't win a mabawaese. So yeah, these guys who talk about Maharons and I also monitor. The cover charge badara. They also monitor. The monitoring.
You know that there's a ZIMURA license that bars pay because they're going to be playing out music. Shouldn't that license just cover whatever collateral eventualities that happen in the musical space?
Those are the conversations that we need to have, and we need to be sincere about.
Otherwise, we might end up getting a different rate card for the artist to say, if you're going to play a big artist,
that's true.
You pay 200.
I would go as far. This is how I would go. How far I would go if we had an honest conversation. Yeah. I would go as far as saying that bands that want to play covers should have a direct conversation with the artist who owns the music.
Yeah.
Simple. What we run? Can I get DP 5 dombi? Then Buddha super. Bo, I did direct. Yeah. It direct. Simple. Simple. Yeah. Let's have an honest conversation where artists' opinions are considered. I'm not saying that what we're saying is the hard truth and should be followed, but there should be a conversation. That's what we're advocating for. Conversation.
And then there's another one. There's a board member. Yeah. I'm going to bring this to There's a board member. There's Dingimuzi Puti.
Do you have pictures?
Yeah, we're going to put pictures.
Drama snips.
So, Dingimuzi, guess who he is?
Can we put pictures? Name WhatsApp number.
You probably can. You should. I mean, the whole Republic office. So Dingimuzi, when the list was publicized in 2022, when they became the board members, he was a deputy minister of ICT.
Oh.
And he became a member of the board of ZIMURA.
Wow.
I thought with his presence there, being a deputy minister of ICT, we're going to see at least a platform that shows an aggregated dashboard where artists can log in with their membership number. Then you see your royalties, where they're coming from. And
then you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Real time.
Guess
real
what?
Time.
Guess what they
Why
made
can't we have real time? Knowing how much
Guess what they made him? Guess what they made him?
What they make him?
They made him a relationship management and liaison member of
what does that mean?
I don't know, he was managing relations.
Relationships
maybe our relationship as artist to ZIMURA, that's what he's managing, and he's the deputy minister of ICT.
It's a failure in communication. Nobody's saying anything. I know that ZIMURA actually has a budget for advertising.
Yes.
They have.
You know
by
what?
the way.
You know what?
I don't know. Has anybody ever seen any advert from ZIMURA?
Let's not confuse the people. I have it in my phone.
You have a breakdown.
Yeah. You know what?
Advertising.
Let me put disclaimers because people are getting sued.
So
let me put this a disclaimer.
And we'll miss you.
So, ladies and
we'll
gentlemen,
actually miss you.
Dear watchers of Pun Intended, the information that I'm about to give to you. Are you going to
put it up there?
Yeah, I'm going to put it up.
It's not a secret.
The information that I'm going to give to you, it's from an audited financial statement from ZIMURA.
So you're not making this stuff up?
I'm not making this up.
Okay.
And they're a bit earlier audited statements, but I'm pulling this one from 2018 specifically.
2018, let's go.
Why am I pulling this one from 2018?
Because the guys who sue were not there.
Yeah, between
the guys who sue were not part of that board.
Number one. Number two. Number two, between now and then, we've had at least 2 currency changes.
Oh, okay.
We've got the ZW and now the ZIG. So I want to pull out from the USD.
2018
we used the USD. So let me tell you something about ZIMURA, right?
Entertainment. Can we go to entertainment? Advertising.
Okay, cool. So I'm looking at their expenses. So their income, they collected about 1.3 million, right? Approximately 1.3 million.
That's royalties for artists.
Yes.
Okay.
For the whole year.
1.3 million.
Now let's look at the expenses.
USD,
right? Let's look at the administrative.
And I think that's the year I got $20 royalty.
Right. So
that's the year I got $20 royalty.
Really?
But
they collected 1.3 million.
But $20,
Wow.
For a year, you guys.
It's too much. For the whole year.
But you guys.
So that's like $1.
But you guys.
That's like $1.
It's okay if I lean into the camera.
Yeah, no, you can.
With watering eyes.
Yeah, you can.
But you guys. 20.
Okay, so listen.
Yo.
Administrative expenses for ZIMURA in 2018. Advertisement. So advertisement. Wait.
We're tired.
Wait. Advertisement.
How much?
This is the budget.
They don't advertise anything.
This is the budget where they're advertising.
Even on WhatsApp, they don't.
Are letting people to pay their ZIMURA license and everything. Guess how much they spent?
How much?
$335. Yes, not $1,000. $335.
Yeah.
The whole year.
Yeah, wedding cake.
That's like divide.
Cake.
Do the math. That's like $26 per month.
Yeah, a wedding cake, $300.
Damn.
$300.
The whole year in advertisement. And yet they are an organization serious about artist welfare and serious about collections.
How much?
335.
That's a 5,000 liter Jojo tank.
Collected the whole year.
Not to advertise the tank. Just the tank. With no fittings.
Okay.
And no water.
And then for this audit report.
Can we put a picture of an empty Jojo tank?
Yeah, we're going to put it there. Listen. For this report to be produced, they paid $3,200.
$3,000 for it to be produced.
For this report.
For the information.
So this report was produced using reports or receipts and everything
for the information
to
come out.
Yes. $3,000. But for advertisement, they paid
Jojo tank.
Then bank charges, of course, they're going to accumulate bank charges. Then they've got a car expenditure account. I don't know if ZIMURA vehicles, maybe, I don't know, car expenditure.
Fuel,
it was around 9,000.
Allowances.
Then, interestingly, they've got entertainment as part of the expenses.
Entertainment. The guys who are responsible for artists.
The guys who are responsible for the entertainment industry of Zimbabwe music.
And remember, they've got
the
entire catalog for all the artists in the country.
Yes.
But they're like, this is boring. We need entertainment.
I need
Netflix. I can't listen to music all day. How much?
Guess how much they spend on entertainment?
I don't know how much.
$73.
I know. How many WhatsApp bundles is that?
For the whole year.
How many WhatsApp bundles is that?
I don't know, man. I think it's just one subscription to get unlimited. So what sort of entertainment is $73 a year?
No, I think these guys are not really into entertainment.
Do you think something is happening?
I know they're not into it. Or unless there's something fishy about these.
I think maybe, ZIMURA, it's a public office.
Spell your name.
Please come through. Let us know what she's paid.
ZIMURA. Fish.
Okay. So here's another one. They spent 18,000 on IT expenses. IT expenses. Yeah.
IT is expensive.
Yeah. And then training workshop.
Yeah.
Training workshop.
Training the trainer.
Yes.
Yeah.
4,500.
Yeah, you have to train.
The whole year.
You have to train to train.
That's how much they spent
the
on. The
trainer must be trained first.
And guess what I find interesting? The fuel and transport budget for
to
the
go
whole
to
year.
train the trainer.
Yes. It's equivalent
Yes.
to that one trainer.
And you're the one who's being trained because you're the trainer.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then licensing. This one. Okay, wait. There's postage, telephone, and telefax.
Who's doing postage in this?
Wait.
In the 21st century. Postage,
telephone, and telefax, right?
How much?
They spent $4,628.
That's porn up.
Do you get letters from ZIMURA?
That's porn up, man.
Do you
That's porn up.
Okay, out of interest. Who among the board members would watch porn up?
So,
who do you think?
I'm not going there. Lawsuit.
Okay, fine. Let's keep that conversation. Okay, let's talk about licensing.
Yeah,
they've got a fee, an annual expense called licensing.
Yeah,
they spent 170,000 on that.
Wow, 170,000
on licensing. Like, what is it?
I have
licensing,
no idea.
What is it?
Where's that money going?
Like, is it the process of getting the money that's costing 100? Like, what's licensing?
170,000.
I read through the audit statement trying to look for an explanation.
This is 2018.
Yes, 170,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what expenses they were experiencing. They've got subscriptions that are sitting on, say, 4,000. I don't know what they're subscribing. And then they've got printing and stationery. Printing and stationery is 9,000. Wait, printing and stationery.
That's the bond paper.
Yes.
All I get is emails and WhatsApps.
Do they send letters?
I've never seen a letter. I just get emails.
Wow.
Unless if it's toilet paper. I did paper. Printing on toilet paper.
I don't know.
Maybe the toilet paper I on ZIMURA.
I don't know, man.
Custom toilet paper. ZIMURA.
Maybe. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Then teas and cleaning. 2.7. They spent $2,700 for teas and cleaning, which is way much more than their advertising budget.
Yeah, a hell of a lot more.
And then staff costs. Let's look at the staff costs now.
That's the salaries.
Yes, these are salaries and allowances. The salaries and allowances are costing ZIMURA about $116,000 in the year 2018.
I think that's more than everything else.
Yeah.
So wage bill is where the money is going. Mm-hmm. So how about shrinking the ZIMURA staff? Let's advocate for that.
How do you want to shrink it? They want to tax the bands, 150.
No.
How then do they get the manpower?
We need to reduce the size of the board. We need to reduce the size of the permanent staff at ZIMURA. Let's start there.
And
shrink.
They're also
ZIMURA.
spending 23,000 in 2018
on what?
Of your money for their health so that they live longer.
No, artists need to have health cover. Let's advocate. Steve.
Yeah.
Let's advocate for things that we want.
Okay?
We want healthcare for artists. That's what we want.
Decent accommodation.
Decent accommodation, yeah. But healthcare, because these artists, they need health cover. True. We can't have a situation where the board of ZIMURA has got a health cover and the artists who contribute the money don't not have. That's crazy.
Actually, being a
creative, what's
even
mentally
taxing.
Do you know what's even ironic or what's even cruel? There is funeral cover, but no health cover. So which means that in some twisted world, they're like, we'll bury you because we know you have no health cover. That's messed up. We need a health cover for our artists. Let's advocate for that. And let's have leadership that comes forward and says, put me in the board and I'll make sure that's the first thing you do day one. Every artist must have basic health cover. Can we have that? Simple.
I think it's a meaningful
And let's appeal to our board as news. Okay? Mudiwa Hood, we need health cover. Good child. Hey, we need health cover. Mama Jindbanyo, we need health cover. Baba,
Nyati.
Nyati. That's all. Let's have a real conversation. That's all we are crying for.
Only.
Communicate. And that's a wrap.
So
that's a bombshell.
Should we end it here?
Let's end it here, man. Because right now it's cool. Nobody's renting. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you see a potential lawsuit coming away?
I think these are decent people. Okay. I think something has happened. Okay, I don't know what it is. It could be. I don't know. There's times when there's just a shift in moral compasses, but artists are crying. We need health cover. We even need education. We need staff development. We need our people to be improved.
And more of those workshops.
We need things nobatika. That's what we need. Let's get rid of this transport allowances and whatnot. Can open a board, you better have a way to come to the board meeting. Simple. I mean, what are we doing? You know, let's get to a point where people come forward and say, I don't want a salary, I need an allowance, but not a salary. Because I want to serve. That's what we need. We need artists to feel that they come number one. And this tax on bands, freeze it. The same way you brought it on, freeze it and say, let's consult. Let's go out there. We have heard what you're saying. We're listening. We want to consult so we can map a way forward together. That's it. On that bombshell, rock, paper, lawsuit. Scissors.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Peace. We out.
Scissors.
Peace.